Greetings, sports fans. This is George with Custom Tied Flies and Guide Service. And we're going to do a tutorial on the last of the bunny streamers. This is the custom tied natural Grizzly bunny streamer. The ingredients, this is what it looks like when it's done. So the ingredients are in the description, but like usual, I'm going to walk you through as we go. So I'm using a Daiichi 2220 streamer hook. Excuse me. And using Danville Flymaster 140 denier in black. And I'm using Hareline's 0.02 inch lead wire, and this is a tungsten bead that I got from Wholesale Fly Company. It's 3.2 millimeter, I think. No, 3.8 millimeter. All right, so 12 wraps of wire. You just wrap that tag in back around there. Okay. And you get tied in. Give me a second here. I gotta put a little light on this subject. There we go. I don't want to drown you out. There we go. Get you a thread dam right in behind the lead wire there. And then squeeze the lead wire up into the bead. Take some holding wraps. And there you go. Now you got your lead wire stuck up into the bead, and the bead is not going to move. You could put a drop of super glue on there to ensure the bead doesn't move, but you're not going to need to. Next is, there it is. You have a piece of natural Grizzly rabbit fur Zonker strip. These come from Hareline. And you got these cut at 1.25 inches, 1 inch for the shank, and 1/4 inch for a tie-in. And that gets tied in with the fur side up, the hide side down. Okay. Next is 3 strands of gold polar flash. And sometimes you lose one, you gotta recover it. Fold those in half. Then find the middle of that. And that goes on to the middle of your shank. Take a couple of pinch wraps to hold it in place. Beneath. That didn't turn out quite even. So we're going to try that again. There we go. I got it. All right. Now we got that piece done. Again, for durability, I tie these in pieces. So there's the first piece. And this is why you're not going to need, didn't need to put super glue in there, because you're going to paint that with lacquer, and that's going to do the same thing. Could you paint it with super glue? Sure you could, but head cement is way cheaper than super glue. All right. Now this is what it looks like, of course, when it's done drying. You're going to get tied in the middle. And you're going to find a piece of Grizzly. You want to find a dark piece of Grizzly that's got real heavy underfur. Excuse me. You're going to go, excuse me, again, you got the end that bends back and the end that bends forward. You want to choose the end that bends forward. That goes on with the hide facing you. And to check to make sure you got the color right, you just take a couple of wraps, and you shouldn't be able to see the hide through the fur. If you can see the hide through the fur, then the underfur is not thick enough. You're going to take that up to about an eye width behind the bead and capture that. You're going to trim that off, and then you can just kind of work that in with your thumb. There we go. All right, next is one strand of pearl, one strand of black, and one strand of copper Flashybou. So there's the pearl. There's the black. You can just hold them in your hand like I'm doing here. And here's the copper. Even those up. find the middle, give that a trim. Find the middle, and then that goes on the far side. A couple of securing wraps, then underneath. All right. Last thing is the root beer shrimp dub brush from EP. And you're just going to take 4 or 5 wraps until you get up in behind the bead, and you're going to give that a real good tug to make sure it's seated up in behind the bead in underneath of it. Take your boar brush and brush that out. Make sure that you have all the little fibers on the EP brush pointing the right way. And then I use Solarez Bone Dry. Let that soak down into the thread. You can also use, of course, Rump Head Cement, Sally Hansen Hard as Nails, whatever you want to use. Super glue. I don't really like to use super glue as head cement because not all super glue dries clear. So it's just, you know, it can be a pain in the butt trying to figure out which one's which. But I like the Gorilla Glue, super glue. But for years and years, I used the super glue that I got at the Dollar Tree. You get 2 vials of it for $1.25, and they'll last you a good little while. So there you have it. Hope this tutorial was good for you. Please like and subscribe to our little YouTube channel here. And you can find this and other cool bugs at the Custom Tide virtual website at www.custom-tied.com. That's CUSTOM-TIED.com. Have a splash. Don't forget the dash. Happy tying.